Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome to those of you watching on OneSpotMedia.com. One man is dead and two others injured after an early morning gun attack in Augustown, St. Andrew. The area is now tense as this is just the latest of a recent flare-up of violent acts in the community. The dead man has been identified as 35-year-old David Stewart, a correctional officer at the General Penitentiary. The flare-up has prompted Member of Parliament for East St. Andrew, Favour Williams, to call for a zone of special operations ZOSO for the community. Police personnel were at Wolmer's Boys School in St. Andrew early Monday morning following a threat issued by a student against a number of other students via a voice note. In a copy of the voice note, which our news team received, a male voice could be heard talking about carrying out acts of criminality at the institution. School Principal Walton Small spoke with our news team this morning.
There was a voice note that was sent over the social media, which created some amount of concern. We were aware of it. We have gotten the student, we have spoken to the student and parent, and it is being dealt with. The school community is extremely safe. I doubt if more than 10% of the school knows about it.
Meanwhile, the police high command says a high-level investigative team is now probing the threat. It says the matter is being treated with the highest level of attention. In the 10-minute, 35-second voice note, a teenager who identifies himself as a student of Wolmer's Boys School threatens to carry out a mass killing. In the clip, he lists societal behavior and being ostracized by his friends as his motivation. In the meantime, the police high command is asking persons who may have information that can assist with the investigation to contact the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Branch, CTOC, at 967-1389, 811, or Crime Stop at 311. The police are also urging individuals to desist from circulating the audio clip as it may cause undue anxiety at this time. Controversy is on the horizon over the banking fees bill after it hit another hurdle in Parliament last Tuesday. Many in academia and government have clamped down on the bill brought to Parliament by St. Catherine South Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson, as they contend that the banking fees cannot be regulated. But Mr. Jackson is still strongly contesting their argument, insisting that the bill is not about the regulation of bank fees. The details from TVJ's O'Shane Masters.
A bill which seems to have the backing of most ordinary Jamaicans is finding it hard to make it through the rounds of Parliament. The Banking Services Bill brought to Parliament through a private member's motion by Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson has been hitting roadblocks since it entered Gordon House. The latest snag was last Tuesday when 30 government lawmakers rejected its passage in a close vote which saw 29 opposition legislators supporting the proposed law. Finance Minister Order Shaw has urged Mr. Jackson to withdraw the measure and work with the government in developing a framework to address the concerns raised. Shaw told parliamentarians that 95% of the provisions in the Banking Services Bill were included in the Bank of Jamaica's Code of Conduct for deposit-taking institutions. But Mr. Jackson is adamant that the bill he brought to Parliament is one that will redound to the benefit of Jamaicans.
The bill before the Parliament was not my bill. It was only in my name. It was a bill on behalf of the thousands of Jamaicans who lose their money on a daily basis. Last year, $40 billion were taken from your account and put in the pocket of some other persons.
Speaking last night at a divisional meeting in Clarendon, he said banks are skimming people out of their hard-earned cash. He, however, sought to reiterate that the bill he brought to Parliament is not to regulate the banking sector.
All the bill says, as a matter of principle, anybody who open an account and put their money in there, you must allow that minimum amount of service at no charge. In other words, whatever costs associated with them providing the minimum service should not be treated any different than them utilities costs.
The MP also lambasted comments from members of the academic community who stated that the bill would be better off dead.
And I hear some in academia talking about how improper it is. We are going to disrupt the market. When slavery was about, It was an economic arrangement. And slavery had a benefit to some people who owned slaves. I believe that these 30 government MPs who voted against the bill would have voted to keep slavery back then if they had the opportunity.
Mr. Jackson says he will be taking back the Banking Services Bill to Parliament in the upcoming legislative year. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Southwest St. Elizabeth Member of Parliament Floyd Green has commented on the Banking Services Bill by Mr. Jackson.
Piecemeal approach to banking reform. We have never been a party that believes that you must just look at profit and say because a man is making profit, something is wrong.
He, however, notes that banking fees in the country are an issue which the government plans to address.
A financial oversight committee to treat with issues that customers have with banks. We take this issue very, very seriously because all of us.
And we now go back to a story we had earlier as one man is dead and 2 others injured after an early morning gun attack in Augustown, St. Andrew. The area is now tense as this is just the latest in a flare-up of violent acts in the community. Our reporter Kirk Wright is there. Kirk, what have you been seeing since morning?
Good. Thank you so very much, Herman. Well, I'm in fact in the Augustown community, and there's police military presence now along Augustown Road where 35-year-old David White, who was identified, Stewart, who was about to open his business space, we were told. In fact, he is a correctional officer, and he was just about to open his pastry shop, we were told, when he was pounced on by men in a car. But as we've been told, it seemed as if this was an organized killing. Before this shooting here, which happened somewhere about 9 o'clock, persons reported hearing shooting in the Ellison Flat area. And about 5 minutes after that, this shooting in Augustown, along Augustown Road, took place. It is confirmed that 1 man is dead. We were told that 2 others were also shot and injured. We're not sure about that. That's yet to be confirmed. But we spoke to the Member of Parliament not long ago, Favour Williams, who said that she will, talking to the Prime Minister and hopefully get a zone of special operation in the Augustown community to quell the violence here. She calls what's happening here as very disappointing because they've had several meetings with different stakeholders to try and quell the violence between gangs in this area, all of which seem to have come to naught so far. So she's hoping that she'll be able to make a case to get Zozo into the Augustown community just to stem the violence here. Herman?
All right, thank you, Kirk Wright, our reporter there in Augustown, as he follows issues in that community since morning. Pressure continues to be mounted on Prime Minister Andrew Holness to fully appoint Justice Brian Sykes as the country's Chief Justice. Mr. Holness has been under intense pressure by members of the judiciary, the Confederation of Trade Unions and the opposition since the appointment of Justice Sykes as acting Chief Justice. Speaking in Clarendon last night, opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips said the Prime Minister seems to be playing a political game.
Issue a statement that says, as soon as the constitutional arrangements can be completed, I will confirm the appointment of the Chief Justice. Solve everything. Nobody don't have to leak nothing. Nobody don't have to report what you're going to say. You can just say it yourself, but what happened? Here's tough. Here's hard.
Is the National Water Commission, NWC, equipped to provide enough water for Jamaica should the island experience a drought this year? According to NWC CEO Mark BARNETT, the NWC is ensuring that Jamaica has an adequate supply. However, he says the greatest threat to this is how Jamaicans consume water. Details in this report.
How long will Jamaica last if there is no consistent rainfall for a number of months? National Water Commission NWC CEO Mark BARNETT says the Hermitage Dam can last just over a month without consistent water running into it.
If there is no flows going into any of those systems, for the Hermitage, which holds just about 400 million gallons of water, and using a treatment plant that produces 20 million gallons of water, you can understand how much days if we are producing at the maximum. But in how we operate, we never go on the maximum whenever time there is a reduced inflow. So a Hermitage will not last us more than probably 40 days.
He adds that currently all the water storing facilities in Kingston are full thanks to consistent rainfall in the last few months. Mr. BARNETT said during this time of the year, Jamaica would normally be experiencing a drought. However, not only is there enough water in storage, but the NWC is also preparing for the possibility of a drought.
You plan for the uncertainty by doing a number of things. Some of the things that we have control over. One, NWC we will look at increase our production in the event of, so that our system become very resilient. And so what we're doing now is to look at putting in a new treatment facility on the Racobre. We're advancing those discussions. Coupled with that, we have to look at our internal infrastructure. How much is it wholesome, and are we creating the same problem as consumers? So we are looking at how we reduce our losses.
Mr. BARNETT is encouraging Jamaicans to preserve water, which will help the NWC prepare.
You're a huge part of the solution, and I do agree you have to look at how you use water.
Public education.
Public education is key. You have to now start to think of reducing your usage. Take shorter showers rather than running your pipe, washing the dish, fill the sink, wash the dish, then rinse, use the same water to water your plants. All those type of things. Change out your toilets from the large 3 gallons to the 1 gallon flush toilet. These are some of the things. It will come at a cost, but it's still something that will benefit you in the long run.
Mr. BARNETT was speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica on Monday. Jeline Pearson, TVJ News.
Call it misfortune, but OPAL HINDS, a resident of New Forest in South Manchester, is frustrated as her house was once again destroyed by fire in a suspected case of arson. This is the third such case, which has now left her and her family close to desperation. Speaking with TVJ News, Ms. HINDS says she was in Mandeville on December 24 when she received a call that her house was on fire. She has had to convert one of the burnt-out rooms into a bedroom, which she now occupies with her 5 children and a grandchild. She's therefore seeking urgent assistance.
I'm begging anyone who can help me just to get back the building finished. Some mall, black cement or stuff. I asked the MP for a load of mall. Him tell me, say, he wish what him can do. Him never tell me, say, me go get it. Him say, he wish what him can do. So, anyone can help me with little cement, any little thing at all. I just want to get back in there. Because I write on the tree there, so I stay and build this, because this is the third house they burn now for me now.
And that wraps up the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the primetime news package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.